Remember how for a few weeks we saw developers still playing this game? We could see on the Steam charts that 25 people or so were still playing the game. And we were all making jokes about it. And then eventually they stopped. There wasn't 25 people online anymore. It went down to 0. And that was maybe it. We kind of all speculated that Sony was just going to write this game off as a tax break. Well, it doesn't look like that's the case, because now people have noticed, as they do, because the internet is always going to internet, they have kept a watchful eye on the game and found that they have been secretly updating the game. The game is still getting updates, at least on Steam, probably on PlayStation as well. We can't check that as easily, though. It does look like Concord is coming back, which is interesting. I didn't think that it would come back. There's so much free-to-play in the market. What can this game bring to the table besides ugly characters? Well, they're still going to try. So let's take a look at the evidence first, and then we'll talk about what they're going to do with this $400 million disaster. In fact, it's probably more than $400 million. I've broken this number down with people on Flashcast. Valiant Renegade was on, and he's somewhat of a financial whiz. And we were going over the numbers of this game, and it sounds like it might, at the end of the day, be like 500 or 600 million. But if you look at the evidence here, 24-hour peak, there was one person who hopped online, probably a dev, has to be a dev, over the past 24-hour period. And this is still never not going to be funny, 697 players for this $600 million disaster. So here's what that guy was doing. Concord files are still being updated via SteamDB, and here's the evidence. So somebody was on there doing something. I think this game is coming back, and it has to come back as a free-to-play game. There's no way they can launch this game for money again. It's just not going to happen. So they're going to have to do free-to-play. And I really do wonder how many people will jump into this game for free, because never forget there was an open free beta. Everybody that wanted to could jump in and play the game, and nobody did. Nobody jumped on and played this game when it was free. The numbers were very, very bad. It was, I don't remember the total, but it didn't even hit 1,000 if I remember right. Nobody wanted to play the open beta, which was free. So I just really don't see a lot of people jumping in to play this. And if you remember, we learned that the people in charge at Sony believe in this game. They think this game is the next Star Wars. That's not my words. That's their words. They think this is the next Star Wars. They got something big here. It shows you how tone deaf these people are. They think that modern audience is real. Even after this failure, and this is probably the biggest video game failure of all time. I'm convinced it is. This Concord is the biggest video game failure of all time. There's just no, what game has failed that costs this much money? So I don't see people showing up for this. And not just on PlayStation, but on Steam, a lot of people are really hesitant to link to a PSN account. We saw it recently with God of War Ragnarok. That game had very, very low numbers compared to the first one and other Sony games. And then we saw it again recently with Until Dawn, which also, from what I understand, required a Sony PlayStation account just to play on Steam. It seems that PC players are very hesitant to sign up for a PlayStation account. They don't want to. And maybe that'll change over time, but right now, that does seem like a real thing. People do not want to link to PSN, which is crazy when you consider that they linked to all of the other stuff. EA, I'm pretty sure you got to have an EA account to play their games, and Ubisoft, and so on and so on. But, at least they're taking a stand on one of them. So PlayStation account is toxic. I think What's really made the PlayStation account toxic was the way that Hellraisers was handled. I wonder if Hellraisers 2 went down differently. If that whole situation had been a little bit different, like maybe the accounts are ready to go right at the beginning, I wonder if that protest would still be a thing. But, there's no way to change the past. It is what it is now. So games media is covering this now. So the cat's out of the bag. Now I think it's just a matter of time until they actually address this, because they're going to have to say something. I'm really kind of shocked that they're not going to just write this game off, but it shows you just how delusional they are about this game. They really do think that this game is going to save gaming or some shit. It's funny to me. This article basically goes over a lot of the stuff that I've already said and agrees with me that this game is not going to do well as a free-to-play game. I was actually wrong. The Concord free beta period saw a peak of 2,388 players. I could have swore it was under 1,000. That's still not enough players to save the game. That's like Suicide Squad launch numbers, which was also a live service game similar to this one. That's not enough. I mean, it would have to be 2,388 whales for this game to be able to exist on those kind of numbers. It would have to be people coming in and just buying all the monetization that they can get. They can't get enough of it. They want to buy all the monetization in the game. They want to buy all the money. They want to have more money that they know what to do with. So they're going to spend $1,000 immediately every week. I don't know. Maybe that's what will happen. Nobody showed up for this on free to play, and that's their only option. There is no let's relaunch the game at $40. That's not going to happen. Nobody's going to want this. Maybe they change the characters. Maybe the character redesigns happen. I think some of the characters actually look okay and could work. Like, this character isn't too bad. This one we're looking at right here, I think with a color change, he could look a lot better. But given the people, because like one of the guys that did the art for this game did like the Destiny exotics. So he made the exotic weapons for Destiny. And some of those looked really cool. So the guy that did the art for this game can do nice art. The problem is, I think the people above him, because we learned that this was a game made by committee, that's the problem. I think you take away some of those restrictions and you just let that guy cook, maybe he'd come up with some better ideas. Because I don't see them changing the models too much. But some of them with some changes, I think, could be okay. Like this one, I think you change his colors around, he might look a little bit better. I think similar with this character, she just needs a little reworking. Same with this alien dude who's basically a white guy alien. The robot, I don't know what you do with him. He looks like a trash can. He looks like a futuristic trash can with limbs. So some of the characters are awful, but I think a few of them could be saved. I just don't think this hits. You bring this back as a free-to-play game, you don't get tax write-offs. I'm pretty sure you can't tax write this game off. So we'll see what they do. I'm really curious if they bring this back. It's going to be hilarious because I just don't see it hitting. This game's a lost cause. You would think that Sony would have learned a lesson about the modern audience, but like most companies, they're just going to double down at this point. I'm here for it, man. It'll be a laugh to me. I'll be laughing because no one's going to want this game. I just don't see a scenario where this game comes back with a huge batch of new players. I just don't see it. Anyway, that's pretty much it. Let me know what you guys think about this. What do you think Sony's going to do with the game? Let me know in the comments. Also, if you would, please like, subscribe, share the video. Make sure you're still subscribed. Hit that notification bell. We'll see you on the next one. Peace.